Hey guys, welcome back. In today's video I'm doing another wolf commission. I promise this is like the third last wolf. I have 2 more to go, so stay tuned. So like usual, I'm starting off with that resin cast of an original sculpture by me. It's something I have, originally I sculpted this from Sculpey and then moulded it and cast it, but a lot of my things now I'm doing it in monster clay. So I'm going in and painting all the black pieces with this chrome acrylic paint, and I'm just painting around the eyes, nose and mouth in that black paint. So this is actually the second wolf I've made for this commissioner. I sort of got the colours wrong on that first one, but that was fine because I created it into my own doll and then sold it again. And then I offered to make a completely new one with the colours that she wanted. So I didn't mind doing that at all, just as long as the customers are happy. So the commissioner wanted a sort of timber wolf look to it, but a more lighter version with white legs and stuff, so I brought it to life. So again, no need to be too neat about the paint job as you're going to be covering it with fur anyway. So going in with my Lumiere paint by Jacquard in Sunset Gold for the eyes. I wanted it to look a bit more realistic, but have a little bit more of a sparkle than a real wolf. And you can see how well this paint covers, so I only needed to do 1 thick layer of it, and it's probably the best gold paint that I've used. Time for the pupils, and you can get a good idea here in this clip how I actually dry brush the pupils in, so it has a feathered and soft edge to the pupil rather than such a stark straight edge. So just build upon layers with your pupils and you will achieve a nice pupil. And then painting in my paw pads, and I don't know why I use such a small brush with this one. I just had it in my hand and used it. Usually I use a large brush and it gets it done a bit quicker, but I don't know why, I just continued using the small brush, which made it go longer, but hey, whatever. And this is the fur that I'm using for this wolf. This will be the outside of the body, and the inside will have a white underbelly, and you can see how it is a nice white undertone with tips on it, so that's what the commissioner wanted, so I had the perfect fur for it. And you can see how I've already drawn out the patterns for the body, and all you need to do is cut them out, just being careful not to cut the pile of the fur and only cutting the backing. So you want to slide your scissors in between the fur pile and cut it. So when you do it for a while, you get used to doing it, and you can do it a bit faster, as you can see here how fast I can do it, even though it is sped up. But yeah, just give practice, and even practice on some scrap bits just so you can get the hang of it. And when I've cut all my pieces out, I pin it together, first side together, and then I sew it in a sewing machine, only leaving some ends open so I can turn it the right way around. And here's that underbelly I was talking about, and it's that same white fur that I use for a lot of my other dolls anyway, so you've seen that fur all before. But yeah, the only reason why I use a sewing machine is it's a lot more sturdier than hand sewing or gluing things, and gluing seems to have like a thick seam line and it's kind of hard and stuff, and I just don't really like it. Okay, so here's what we have so far after I've sewn it up. I had some requests to film the sewing, so I will try and include those in some of my dolls. I've got a couple that I can't film because I've already done them, but in some of my future dolls I'll definitely try and include it. It's just a bit hard to get. And here it is, all flipped inside the right way, inside out, whatever. And it's a bit fluffy at the moment, and so it will need a trim, and you can see that white underbelly there too. So once that other fur's been trimmed, it will blend in really nicely with the white underbelly. So after I do this, I make an armature. I'm going to be changing up my armatures for my larger dolls to a ball and socket one rather than the wire. And then I will attach the resin pieces once the armature's inside to the ends of the armature pieces. And then I'll go and sew all of the open ends up using a ladder stitch, and I do stuff it with polyfill. I stuff it pretty firmly now. I used to do it a bit softer before, but I find that I like it having a lot firmer look to it. It gives it a better shape as well. And then once I've sewed all the open ends up, I then go ahead and glue it to the resin pieces using a tacky fabric glue. I get mine from Spotlight here in Australia, but you could probably find something similar in any craft stores that you've got. I'm not really sure what's available overseas. So I'm just going to quickly show you what it looks like once I've furred the head. So this is what it looks like when I have furred it and trimmed it, and I haven't added any shading or anything to it, so it looks a bit dull and boring at the moment, but I'll add shading to it, and then you can get the idea of what I do. I will try and make a tips video in the future. So here's we have it after I have added a lot of the shading. And here's what we have after I have finished. What do you guys think? Alright, that's it for me today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, you can give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. If you have any requests, you can leave it in the comments down below. You can also check me out on Instagram and Facebook at Creatures of Nat, and I'll catch you next time. Bye!